Have you ever just sit back and looked around at everything all around you and appreciated it for what it is? This is real life. Come celebrate, sit back and relax, reminisce with.
How's everybody feeling? Wonderful.
Nice.
Love you.
Yes. Awesome.
Marvelous. Kisses and hugs. 54 love beans here.
Happy to have you guys with us. Grateful. We love you all.
We've been having interesting 48 hours here in the mission house. We're calling this the mission house because this is the mission house. This is mission. And it's something that we're on the front lines of this energy, and it with all different dynamics at play, and it can be very interesting when if team members cannot transform egos in this energy.
It'll take you out. I mean, we don't joke, we don't kid about that. These energies will bring everything to the surface. They are meant to do that. We have some tinkering from some higher dimensional beings that make sure of it.
Yeah.
Because we need to get it sharp, fast, and we need to transform it just as quickly and keep these energies flowing. And when we get stuck in a thought pattern and we step in that hole and we refuse to surrender to the will of finding our way out, your way out will be found for you, because you cannot be here. You just can't exist. What would have to exist is aggressive, intense, angry, negative energies here. And that's not possible.
Right.
It's just not possible. So we've been dealing with a little bit of this. Everybody has it. Everybody feels separation to some extent at some point until you can surrender it all completely. I am no stranger to this. But for somebody we love very much in Quran, it had become a little bit difficult for him. Over the past couple months, he had struggled with trusting in his mission, trusting in himself, and trusting in his purpose. He's unable to surrender to the mission in such a way that he kept his cords and his attachments to family, which isn't always a bad thing. But if in your case you come from abuse, control, and these things haven't been transformed, then to keep these cords connected is folly. And for Quran, we've had some outbursts at night, and we try to help him through. But I mean, when we say spinning, we mean screaming, yelling, nudity. These things will take you to your core, till you're naked, literally.
And if you're unable to transform them, it'll just take you out. So Quran was kind of backed in a corner. He had to make a decision, and he wouldn't. A decision was made for him. And then we did last night share with him that we loved him very much, that we did not want him to leave, and that he could stay with us. And we would help him as much as we could and give him another opportunity to transform all that stuff. But he chose otherwise.
I mean, I'm going to draw a pretty clear picture for you guys of how it can be. If you can imagine us 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, hanging out in here, maybe having fun, you hear a couple yells outside, and you go out there and somebody is just standing there spinning a million thoughts. Just letting them all rip. Fuck you, this and that, screw you, shut the hell up, you think you're Father God, you think you're Archangel Michael, but you can't do this, and just going on, and impossible to get a word in edgewise. You can't stop the being, you can't stop the thoughts, you can't calm them down. Most of it is completely unfounded, all of it really. A refusal to listen, even in the best calm moments. Still a refusal to listen. You can't get through. You have to sit there. We shut MG in here. We incubate the room. KG stands on the outside of the door. I'm calling Paul from upstairs. He's sleeping. And we're sitting there just while Quran spins. And this is happening more frequently. And we've tried and we wanted to make the effort. We love Quran. We want him here.
Yeah.
His place is here.
And
we couldn't hold on.
We're sharing this with you not only because we know you all love Quran as well, and he's been a great service here in the tiny chat room, but also as an example.
Yes.
Please utilize this as an example, and that's his gift to all of you.
Yes.
No, it's not. This is an example of how, if you can't get to that point of surrender, what it does to you, spins you, and you can't get out of it. It's like a vortex.
Yeah, it's like I said. It's like a cancer. If you don't cut it out 100%, if you don't release and let go of everything, then that little bit will grow, and it will grow, and it will grow, until it takes you out again. Karam was back and forth. He was going to leave. He wasn't going to leave. It became clear that his energy was not getting better. He was not making the efforts to get better. The word being thrown out got tossed around in here because egos, emotions are going. Certain people want to give him more time. But the moment it became clear that he wasn't going to be able to clear this energy, I made a decision that he needed to be removed. I shouldn't say I, because nothing gets through here without MG's approval. We were all in on this. We all agreed to some extent. There was just some dissent whether or not it should be as immediate. I was happy to give him money to put him up in a hotel. But if the decision is made that he is leaving, he is gone now. This stirred some stuff up. But we were grateful for that because we just had a team meeting. It was great. We're focused. We need to be united on mission, and we need to surrender. Quran was kicked up about little things. It was like every time he picked up the phone to talk to his family, or every time he was, talking to somebody who maybe got kicked out of this chat room, isn't allowed here. He was letting these people in, and he wasn't cutting cords. And every time he picked up the phone, it was like poison. He was in here. He came in last night. He had to leave. There was no question. Matthew was upset. He asked me that morning, well, can Quran stay the day, leave tomorrow? I said no. And it wasn't helpful for Matthew. But Quran ended up coming in here before he left, said to say goodbye. But when he came in, Quran expressed to us that he wanted to be here, that he didn't want to accept defeat, that he didn't want to go back home. It was the first time I saw anybody, especially him, come in and actually sit down, say stuff that was from his heart, and listen. I'd never seen it, not once. So it took me back. I was like, okay. I said, Quran, we want you here. We don't want you to leave. But your ego can't stay. Right. Period. So you need to make a decision to surrender everything right now. That's the only way. And I thought he was gonna go for it, but then he started talking about, well, it's okay if I have at least a little contact with my parents, right? And that's when I knew. We left the decision with him. The plane fares were bought and paid for. He told his parents he was coming home, and I said, well, maybe this is your opportunity to boost them up, just so you can cut it out. And leave it there, blow it up. So your parents will be so pissed they won't even want to talk to you. Who cares? If that's how you have to cut it, that's what I did. I left a fully furnished apartment, a dog at my mom's house, a car in an airport parking lot. I thought he was good. Okay, let me go make a phone call. He called his parents. He knocked on the door a couple of minutes later and said he'd leave.
He was leaving, yeah.
What can we do? The energy can't stay here. This is something that we will not play around with. So if you are an ego, you can get the fuck out.
Oh, God.
Or you can surrender. Because you guys know me and MG have been in here 2 weeks. We get to come out in,
48 hours.
48 hours.
Yay!
It's very difficult on the team to be out there and me and MG in here. If you can imagine what that might feel like. and the thoughts, the feelings that you might start to have. When you want to be a part of the team, you are part of the greatest team in creation. So these things were starting to fester, and it had to stop. You guys will be presented with challenges that seem like they make sense, feelings that are so strong that it could be impossible. No, this can't be the way. But those moments that are so difficult and so dense are your moments to really break out of your shell. If you can just interrupt the thought pattern just once, if Quran in the middle of all that freaking out just once would have just sat down and shut up and just listen from his heart. We love him very much, but we're on mission.
Yes.
Quran won't be here any longer, and we love him. We send him love. He's welcome in the chat room. But that'll be the end of that, and we're moving forward. Because this is about mission. It's not about Quran. It's not about any of us. It is about MG. But it's a growing experience for all of us here, and if you take it as the gift that you're being given, it'll be the same for you. It's all about awareness.
I may just catch a ride while this stuff happens.
Yes, free of pain, you make a great point. You have to respect his decision, yes. That's very difficult, yes. I would never be able to permanently get disconnected with my family. I would have said this too. But when heaven comes knocking on your door and puts you next to the mother of creation, Archangel Michael, the vessel of Lucifer who's bringing him Father God, Paul who is a protector and a starship captain, KG who is Horus, when you are put here and you make the decision not to serve. So
That's insanity right there.
We understand free of pain is very difficult.
Yeah.
But when you're here, it's a different perspective.
The greatest moments in creation are happening right now that have never happened before. And this is a pretty big deal. You better get your egos, your personal, anything's dissolved, out of the way, conditioning, programming, all of it has to go.
I've cut ties so many times that it's very easy for me to make a very difficult decision in a split second, as long as I'm comfortable with the information. And it seemed a little cold to some of our members, but again, it's mission here. That's it.
Now, I've shared this story many times, and I'll share it real quickly. 7 years, it was exactly 7 years ago, that I had to cut ties with all of my family and my 3 young children. And at first, the family was, I could do really quickly. They were in drama a lot of the time, and I knew they were feeding off my energy. But the children was my most challenging moment along the journey. And I remember having a moment with the angel saying, I was throwing a fit. I wasn't going to leave my babies. But, what the angels said to me was, well, you have an opportunity. You can help 7 billion babies or just 3 babies. And I chose 7 billion plus. And so I cut cords, I cut all ties. I did what I had to do in service to love and creation.
And that's what we do.
This is real life. Come celebrate, sit back and relax, reminisce with the old homies and reflect on the past. Tips and bottles, have a party and enjoy it while it lasts. Don't you ever think that you're living too fast. Come celebrate, remember lost friends and then childhood dreams that seemed that they would never end. This is life and it's alright, I ride until the end. Don't you know you're never coming back, my friend? It's a good a day as any other. I see it like I wonder, what's to come day by day? We all sit and ponder. We all remember the laughter make us stronger. The past days are gone, can't hold on any longer. The future's coming, the sun will set and night will conquer. And every minute that goes by will stretch our lives and make us fonder in respect. This air that we breathe in and what you see is worth believing. If you ain't running from demons, there's a meaning. A message is worth receiving. We're all just being alive. Once there's no repeating, there's a chance it won't last. I'm saying it's got a feeling. Who you are dictates everlasting what you're facing, breathing. What you